quite a privilege to be here. Good morning, sir. Come to my work and I represent Sunday's Morning Curfew.
Good morning, sir. I am Camille Brown and I represent Darken Helping. Pleasant good morning, sir. My name is Melissa Reed and I represent RBCC.
Good morning, sir. I'm Kimberly Fonson and I represent Holiday Inn Sun School Resorts. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I'm Marcella and I represent Fontana Pharmacy. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Good morning, sir. My name is Tasha Wallace and I represent Pub Ambiance.
Good morning, sir. My name is Anisha Martin and I represent Windham Roseville Resort.
Good morning, sir. I am Delrose Vernon and I represent Dial Insurance. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good morning, sir. My name is Elisa Lee. I brought the Radio Establishment's Lifestyle and I'm glad to be here.
Good morning, sir. I am Suzette L.L.B and I represent Lost Beach Resort.
Good morning, Mr. Forbes. My name is Natisha Jameson. I represent Alberta. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioner Forbes. My name is Nadia Roshedi, Vice Chancellor San Jose.
Good morning. I'm Janelle Guga. I represent Budget Car Rental. Thank you for having us here.
To start by congratulating you once again for giving us the privilege of meeting these beautiful ladies before the final judging is done or has been completed. And it's really a pleasure for us to be hosting you today. I was hoping that maybe somebody wasn't sashed as yet because just a few weeks ago we had Miss Black History Month, and the ladies came here and there was one lady who hadn't been sashed yet, and we decided that the police force would sash her, and her photograph was in the Star yesterday. She won the competition. So we were quite happy about that. I think it's really the first time that the force has participated in a contest like that. But let me really welcome you, and I will tell you what I usually tell the other people when they visit. And first and foremost is that whatever the final results are, you know, you're already all winners, and you should see yourself like that. I think this is the most beautiful group, you know.
I agree.
You've always had some beautiful people in it, but you know, this group,
They're intelligent.
yeah, and that is also very critical. So let me congratulate you individually and collectively in presenting a very fine picture here this morning. I really hope that maybe this time I can get to attend. I've always tried to make an effort to attend, but usually something crops up. And well, let me say perhaps a few words about myself. As you know, I am the CEO for the Jamaica Constabulary Force and its auxiliaries. And that makes me in charge of a labor force of sworn officers of a little over 10,000. And I use the word sworn officers because I do not include the civilians who work with us. So in essence, I think I am in charge of the biggest labor force in Jamaica. A lot of foreign commissioners who come here, no matter what country they are from, they, after spending 2 or 3 days with us, they usually come back to my office and ask, how do I manage this great number of persons in this very complex environment. And I tell them that it's relatively easy because I have a good team. You know, senior people with me. Mr. Johnson here is a very experienced deputy commissioner. Deputy Commissioner Thomas was upstairs with me a while ago. He had to run off somewhere, and he's in charge of the crime portfolio. Mr. Johnson here is in charge of the operations portfolio. And I have a lady, a female officer, acting Deputy Commissioner Bent, who is in charge of admin and support services. Women have done extremely well in my organization. And in fact, we have set a trend in the region for women police. Right now we have 2 assistant commissioners. I think we have 2 senior superintendents, a number of superintendents, a number of deputy superintendents, and a number of assistant superintendents. In all, we have 1,275 females in the force. And that, just a week ago I was in Angola for the handing over ceremony for a new commissioner. And when I mentioned that we had 1,275 females in the police force, afterwards somebody wrote me a little note to say that they had counted 4 countries in the region, and the total number of police there didn't add up to 1,275. And you know, so I make the point because women do get an opportunity to excel in the Jamaica Constable Air Force. Miss Bent has a master's degree. Miss Grant, the other assistant commissioner, also has a master's degree. And she's currently on a 1-year study course in the United Kingdom, provided for by the United Kingdom, the government of the UK. And it is the first time that police person has been awarded a scholarship to do that course. It's a course in international relations and some other law enforcement type things. But it had always gone to the soldiers, senior army officers. And this year, the British decided that the police force was at such a standard that it was time for us to get that offer. And so I presented Miss Grant, and she was selected. And she has already shown that she will do very well on that course. We have female officers in command positions, you know, all over the place. They're in charge of geographic commands. At one time, the entire training program for the force was run by females. We had a female assistant commissioner in charge of training. There was a female in charge of the staff college that trained the senior officers, and there was a female commandant that dealt with in-service training and the initial basic training for new recruits. We now offer what we call a graduate entry program, which means that people who have degrees can join directly, and we start them as assistant superintendents. A year ago, we advertised. We had 15 vacancies, and 250 odd persons with degrees applied to join. And many of the applications came from universities, people in universities overseas. So it is an indication of where we are going. Recently, about 3 weeks ago, we won for the 4th consecutive year an expo at the University of the West Indies. This is where organizations, private sector, public sector are invited to set up, you know, booths and to advertise themselves, you know, say who they are and what they are. And one of the ways that they use to judge it is by the number of persons who show an interest, you know, who want to join the organization by looking at the exhibits. And this year, I think, because we had won the event 3 consecutive years, I think they tried to trick us. They said this year that it would be judged also on the use of technology. So we surprised them once again. All of our booths had an interactive type display with computers and so on. And in fact, the entry point had one of these electronic signboards. And on that signboard was the top cop of the year, who happened to be a female officer. Wow. You know those signboards that change every 15 seconds or so. So as you walk towards it, you realize it was something else. And although they are me, and I shouldn't say this, but they're all friends, but they put everything out this year. I saw a helicopter on the ground and all that, but not even the helicopter could get them to it. Was the first commissioner to get more than $1 million a year from IP. Although I didn't make the fat cat salary, I am not badly off. Not badly off. Mr. Johnson is badly off either. He doesn't want anybody to know.
Should tell that to the ladies. Stop calling me from next week.
I just say that, and of course there are many, what do you call it? Benefits that you guys get. I don't get that. They get like 20% concession when they buy new motor vehicles. So they pay very little in terms of taxes. Right? I don't, because the government give me a vehicle and tell me that is my official vehicle and take away the concession from me. And I have no choice, I can't reject that vehicle, whatever they give to me. So, I just go along with that.
Enough about the sports. I was like to ask, are you married?
Family sometimes. I have 3 kids. One very big son and 2 small ones. My family is away. And sometimes, you wonder how your job impacts on them. They don't really tell you, but sometimes that the news isn't so good. My wife says she knows, she lives in Canada, she works in Canada, she's a nurse, and she says she knows when I am on the front page of the newspaper. They have a weekly thing that they sell in Canada. Because when she goes to the West Indian store in her neighborhood, the lady who is in charge of the store, who owns the store, is her friend. And the lady will just look at her as she's coming through the door and say, all the newspapers sell off. And she will know right away that I'm on the front of it, whether it is good or bad. So, sometimes I work for them, but they seem to do okay.
What do you do for fun? Apart from being in the office and trying to solve crimes, what do you do for entertainment, your curriculum activity?
I can tell you some of the things I can't tell you. So, I'll just tell you that at home I love ornamental fish. Okay. So I, have about 6 huge tanks that I made myself. Okay. And when you want to really occupy yourself, you find strange things. So I start to study about fish. Okay. The first set of fish that I bought, I packed some 30 fish in a small tank like this, and they died one by one. And I could not understand why. And I went and I bought every book I could find on fish and studied until I found out now I can tell you the illness that they have by looking at them for a few minutes in the water, and I can treat it. So quietly I start saving lives of fish now. I love music, and I play table tennis. I can't find anybody in my age group to exercise me, so I start beating the young ones up. And that's about it. I love music, and anywhere music is, I will go. I will go to dances. I'm not afraid of anywhere in Jamaica. I sometimes on a Saturday when I go out on the plazas, there people are frightened when they see me because they expect to see 1,000 bodyguards and they see me walking by myself. You know, when my kids are here, I take them out to the shopping plaza because they enjoy doing that. And people are looking behind to see where the security people are. So that's how I occupy my time.
Does it depend a lot on experience or just, leadership skills?
It depends on a lot of things. I would not say so much experience as professional knowledge. Because somebody can be in the force for a number of years and their professional knowledge is still very limited. I was very fortunate because I was exposed from early in the organization. Did a lot of training here and overseas. So the exposure I got, many people, did not get it. So I think that my professional knowledge, is not something that any other commissioner had. And I am not saying it in a boastful way, but the preparation that I got to become commissioner, no other commissioner got that. So, I think that gave me an edge.
Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner, Superintendent Forbes, on behalf of this Universe Cornwall Contestants, I would really like to thank you again, Commissioner, in a very short time for this beautiful experience that these ladies are experiencing now. I'm sure they will really remember this particular day, and I'm sure they're going to ask me next year again. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you too.
And ladies, after we do a photo shoot with the Commissioner, Superintendent Forbes will take you to the computer room and give you a little tour there, and then by 10:30 we should be there.
The summer sun went down on all long ago, but in my heart I feel the same old afterglow. Our love so beautiful in every way. Our love so beautiful, we let it slip away. We were too young to understand, to ever know that lovers drift apart, and that's the way love goes. Our love so beautiful, our love so free, our love so beautiful, our love for you and me. Yes. And when I think of you, I fall in love again. The memories of all the good times that we've spent. Our love so beautiful, our love so free, our love so beautiful, our love for you and me. The summer sun went down on all of long ago, but in my heart I feel the same old afterglow. Our love so beautiful in every way. Our love so
It's mine, it's for kids. Yes. You want to come in and just give them a quick overview of what you do?
Well, basically this is the computer room. The computer room is more like the head of the brain where most of the equipment are, or main equipment. attached to the police constabulary force. Now what happened, we have a network system. Those black boxes that you're seeing down there is called the AS400 box, from which we have several locations remote connected to us. Now the type of information that is stored on those black boxes are like having to do with traffic ticketing, criminal records, deportee, personnel records, personnel that would be on police personnel, that kind of information. As you can see, this machine here is called a console, and what happens is that from this machine we are able to monitor all users on the system island-wide. So as you would see here, like RDS1, this is saying that this person is signed on at this location. This location is called Area 1 HQ, and it tells you the person who is signed on, the type of activity that is running on it. From time to time we get break messages. Those break messages will tell us what is happening on the system as it relates to machines, because other than monitoring users on the system, we are also responsible for having all machines up and working island-wide. So how is the link done? Here we have our modem. This is our modem rack. These modems maintained by Cable and Wireless. The ones down here are police microwave system. And at the different locations, they would have a modem, they'd have a controller, and what they'd have, they would have dumb terminals as well. Oh, for those who don't get to see. Tape drive, we do backup. What's happening right now is that we're preparing the tapes. As you can see, it says erasing. We're preparing the tapes for backup, which will be done this evening. We have a backup that is done every morning, the end of every week, and a month-end backup. Our 2 file servers allows you, other than doing things that we consider doing on the dumb terminal, we have things, your Word document, we have databases on those servers that people they carry out their jobs on. Over there are 2 printers. Now, printers, persons requesting information, send it to the printers. What you find is that at their locations, they would have printers as well. So rather than having someone from Montego Bay or Mandeville come all the way to Kingston for a print, we just send it from the machine here, just send the print down to them. They are able to access it. What you're seeing on the top of those printers are data cartridges, just as what you see in here. Those round ones, right, that you see there, they are magnetic tapes that we still do use from time to time, but most of what we use holds on that. Though it is smaller, right, they hold much more. And behind you, what you're seeing is the UPS, or uninterrupted supply, in the event that light goes out, we have power. Because a system like this needs to be up and running on a 24 basis. So that's basically it. Any questions?
Well, you made everything clear.
I know. Everything was said.
Thank you. Meaning this is like about being a part of the police force?
Basically, right, you fall under the Ministry of National Security. I am not a police, I'm a civilian. And we have several civilians working here as well.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And when I think of you, I fall.